Warm, inviting. You click a button, the website finalizes the order, and somewhere across the world, a digital image begins the transformation into a physical object. But there is a massive journey ahead. How exactly does a $50 pair of shoes physically travel 10,000 miles to reach your front porch? It starts with a simple tug of war between what people want and what is available to sell. Your demand for the shoes pulls the product across the ocean, while the factory supplies the goods to meet that need. Bridging that gap requires a massive, hidden financial engine that manages the incredible cost of moving millions of items across the sea. The physical journey of that shoe is entirely dependent on this invisible financial equation working perfectly in the background. Before your sneaker can move an inch, someone has to pay for the vehicle. A modern cargo ship costs tens of millions of dollars, a massive gamble for any business. To manage that risk, companies run a deep financial forecast to ensure the investment will actually pay off over the next few decades. This math weighs the massive upfront cost of the ship against the small, steady trickles of profit it will earn from carrying cargo year after year. But there is a catch. Money has a shelf life. A dollar earned 10 years from now is actually worth less to a business than a dollar they hold today, because of inflation and lost opportunities to invest. Final math shows the ship will generate more value than it costs to buy and maintain. The company moves forward, giving your sneaker a ride. Now the ship is loaded with thousands of steel containers, cutting through the water on its way to you. Keeping a machine this size moving is an expensive daily battle. How do shipping companies keep track of what it costs just to exist on the water for 24 hours? They maintain a running tally for every individual trip, tracking the ship's financial burn rate in real time. This chart breaks down those daily costs. Huge amounts of cash go toward the heavy fuel the ship burns, followed by the wages for the crew and the fees charged by the ports where they dock. To make the trip viable, every single pair of sneakers in every container has to cover a microscopic fraction of these massive daily bills. Weeks later, the journey nears its end as the ship pulls into a terminal to unload. But a new problem appears. You paid in your local currency, but the factory across the world needs their own local currency to pay their bills. Global markets solve this by translating these different currencies instantly, 24 hours a day, so international trade never has to stop. But translation isn't enough. How do two companies separated by an ocean trust each other to move the goods before the money arrives? They rely on banks to provide a letter of credit, an ironclad payment guarantee, and a universal rulebook that prevents any misunderstandings about who is responsible for the goods during the trip. One system translates the money, and the other translates the rules. Together, they make a safe handshake across the globe possible. If you take that single shoe's journey and multiply it by billions of products, you see the true scale of the global economy. Think of a nation's entire economy as a giant ledger trying to find its level on a scale. One side of this scale holds physical items crossing the border, things you can touch, like your sneakers or the car in your driveway. The other side holds the things you can't see, like the interest paid on loans from other countries, or the money tourists spend while traveling abroad. When this scale stays balanced, it keeps the whole system predictable, making it easier for businesses to keep shipping the goods you want at a price you can afford. Let's bring all this back down to a human level, right down to a simple cardboard box sitting on your front porch. That box arrived because a company successfully forecasted a multi-million-dollar investment and carefully managed the daily costs of fuel and crew. It is there because international banks and global rules allowed two strangers on opposite sides of the planet to trust each other. Every time you click Buy Now, you trigger a massive, invisible engine that connects the whole world.